So if you're in the real estate industry, investing in residential properties, who do you need on your team? In this video, I'm going to share with you a roster of contractors that we have that would be very helpful for you. And then at the end of the video, I'm also going to give you a download so you can download a form where you can organize all these rosters. This can be very helpful. If you're like me in the beginning, I had like a handyman I knew, and then another possible flooring guy I knew, and then a painter I knew. And then eventually I came across a roofer, and then eventually I found a cleaner, and they were kind of all spread out. And it took me time to realize, you know what? Businesses, sports teams have a roster, right? They have a list of people, and not only do they have people, but they have backups for each person, right? So in this video, let's look at who are the people you need on your team in the mobile home business as a residential investor. So I'm going to start by showing you this form I created, and this is a form that I'm actually going to give to you to download. The link, if you're watching this on YouTube, is on the description below. If you're not on YouTube, you can go to our website, mobilehomefranchise.com, and you can download this form on there in the free resources section. But here's the list of contractors, and I'm going to do a little reveal of all these different contractors gradually. But if you're already a house flipper or a landlord, you probably already have some of these people, but I think having this form will be helpful for you because, as you know, some people come, some people go. And it's always good to have not just one person, but also think, who's my backup? And who's my backup for my backup? So on this form, we have the, different types of contractors that you're gonna need, but we also have, lines to have kind of a backup. So if you're a football fan, you know there's a backup quarterback or what have you. So let's go through this list together, and I'll explain who's who and what's what and who are the most important contractors, really, because you don't need all of these contractors on every deal, but on some, you're gonna need them on every deal. So I kind of put stars by the ones you're gonna usually need on every deal. And then the rest of these, give or take, you don't always need them. So the first one is the general handyman. This is my go-to person. I need someone who's an all-around, kind of do-it-all kind of person. Now, when I'm doing volume, obviously I'm going to start splitting up projects to other people, but the general handyman can do everything. And you need at least 2 or 3 of these guys, to be honest, especially if you're doing volume. So this is your first slot, and you can see there's a star next to him and there's a line or 2 underneath. We have a PDF download for free, like I said, and you can start putting in actual names for your teammates right here. So who's the second person? The second person is a good flooring guy. Now, that could also be a carpet cleaner as well, but usually we're having to put in new carpet, new laminate, new linoleum, etc. So you need a good flooring guy. I didn't put a star next to him because you don't always have to put in new flooring, but truth be told, he's at the top for a reason. A flooring person is very important. The next person with the star next to him, who's that? House cleaner. You need a great house cleaner, 2 or 3 that are gonna get down and dirty and make that place shine. So get a great 2 or 3 house cleaners, but usually 1 or 2 is enough to kind of keep busy just with a couple of them. Next one, junk removal. Whenever you're getting a repossessed home or someone's moving out, there's almost always stuff that's left behind, right? Having someone who can come in and remove junk is very important. Now, there's the big name franchise companies online. They're usually more expensive. The ones you see TV commercials for, you can use them, but they're more expensive. I recommend finding someone local who has a truck, a little trailer that they pull behind their truck. They can come get the junk out of there, take it to the dump for you. They're usually much more inexpensive. Next one, insurance agent. You want to make sure you're getting insurance on these properties, right? I can't tell you how many times, I live in Colorado, we get really bad hail damage to these roofs. So having a good insurance person has protected me many times on having to pay for that roof myself. Now, not all insurance companies do mobile homes, by the way. So if you need a resource for that, reach out to us because there are specialists that specialize in mobile homes. The next one, someone who does appliances. This is a very important one too. I didn't put a star next to it because you don't always, but a lot of times you do. Now, if you're constantly buying brand new appliances, that can get very expensive, especially on a mobile home. So in most cities, there's a good used appliance outlet store. So I encourage you to see if you have one in your local area. And if not, I highly encourage you to hit the Facebook marketplaces, the Craigslist, all those different platforms that are out there where people are selling these themselves, because usually you can get a good deal. The next people, landscape. You want to have a good landscaper. Again, in these mobile home communities, usually we're not having to do extensive landscaping, but having a good person who can affordably come and make that place look good outside, very important. Next one, photographer. This is big. I have a whole nother video where I show the importance of taking professional, high quality photos. If you think about it, when you're watching a TV commercial and there's a commercial for like a fast food restaurant, you notice how beautiful the pictures of those hamburgers and fries and drinks and everything are. Imagine if they had bad photos. It's not nearly as attractive for you to want to go in there. In fact, sometimes you've seen those local low budget family restaurants and they have pictures of the food and you're like, oh, that doesn't look very good. So the photos are worth paying for. Many people, if you go online, are taking these photos themselves on their cell phone. The lighting's bad, the angle's bad, the place looks small, there's stuff, junk in the photos. Photos are very important. I recommend getting at least 1 or 2 great professional photographers, and usually it doesn't cost that much. I think in our market, we can get a good photo done for $150, $175, well worth the investment for marketing purposes. All right, so next up, we have the roofing company. Again, having a good roofing company, hopefully you don't have to use them very much, but very nice to have available when you need them. Also, kind of side note, when you're negotiating a deal and the roof needs to be done, it's always nice to get these guys out there when you're negotiating to check that roof for you. And then if the person has insurance already, you can say, hey, seller, we'll buy it contingent on you filing a claim to get this roof replaced. So that roofer can help you with that, and it's a great relationship in those situations. So who's next? The HVAC, this is very good too. You're going to need these furnaces and air conditioners serviced and cleaned. So having a good HVAC team, very important as well. And again, can your handyman do a lot of this stuff? Usually they can, but as I said in other videos, you don't want to bog your handyman down trying to do everything. I've made the mistake of doing that. I've came across some great handyman who can literally do everything. Now, they weren't licensed to do everything, so you need to make sure that when there's things that need to be done with the license, you have the go-to people who can do that. And also, you don't want to overwhelm the handyman. I remember sometimes putting one handyman in a big project that needed a lot of work, and by the time he was done with it a month and a half, 2 months later, he was like, I need a vacation, right? So if you're trying to do a bunch of these and keep them going, you don't want to burn out one handyman. So having good people that you can delegate different things to is great. And if you're flipping homes, you already know this, but just wanted to point that out because I've made that mistake. The next thing you want is a good plumber, right? Again, a good handyman can do most of the basic plumbing, but if you get into more, extensive things regarding a license or things that your handyman can't do, having a great plumber on deck is huge. Next one, electrician. Again, electric can be dangerous. Make sure you have someone licensed doing it. If you have a handyman who knows a little bit that doesn't require a license, that's always nice to have, but a good electrician, always nice to have. And then these final 3, also important. A lender, you could put this one up on the list, right? A lender who specializes in mobile homes. That's a part of your contractor list, in my opinion, right? Having a go-to lender that you know what their underwriting guidelines are, you know what they're looking for, you have great communication so they're keeping you up to date on your deals. Having a great mobile home lender, highly important for your contractor roster. Next, mobile home transporter. Now, I learned through experience that it's better and easier to sell the mobile home where it's currently located versus getting into, buying a mobile home, moving it to another location, or getting involved with that. However, you will have some clients who want to buy your mobile home and move it to their private property or move it into another mobile home community. So you want to make sure you have a great mobile home transport company that you can refer them to. The buyer is going to need an estimate. They're also going to need to know, how long it's going to take. Usually they have no idea where to find these people. That makes you a very valuable resource if you know who the mobile home transport companies are and you have good relationships with them. So find who's relocating mobile homes in your area and establish a relationship with them. The last one I put on here was painters. Painters are good because that's what they do. And if you can get some guys who are hungry and fast and efficient, I usually like to use them so that I don't bog down my handyman. I usually try to use my handyman on the more technical things and then have my painter come through and just do what they do best and knock it out quick. Can a handyman paint? Absolutely. Handymen can do really good paint jobs actually, but what I find is they can get burnt out. So get a good painting crew, especially on the exterior, but also on the interior as well, and that can help your projects go a lot faster. So I hope this video was helpful. Like I said, there is a link in the description below on YouTube for you to download this so you can have your own contractor roster, and you can put real names of your actual contractors, and you can see, are you missing any contractors? And that'll alert you, hey, I need to get a good landscape guy. Hey, I need to get a good HVAC guy. And then you can start working on filling those gaps. So again, download that in the description below. If you're not on YouTube, feel free to jump on our website. It's mobilehomefranchise.com. I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you on the next one.